You're listening to BleedTV, the only podcast for today's shows and movies. I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And this is Preacher. Last night's episode was called Puzzle Piece, wasn't it?
Puzzle Piece.
Puzzle Piece.
A well-named episode, finally.
Yes, there's no doubt. Strong correlation. Very strong correlation.
What a build-up to what happened.
Overall thoughts. I know we're down Cash tonight. You know, he got soft on us, but, you know, what's your thoughts on the episode?
Well, being that I went in with super low expectations based on the last few episodes, this one was a big uptick in comparison.
There's no doubt. I'd have to say it's definitely one of the more memorable and favorable episodes so far this season.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, because like you said, the last 3 or 4 have been kind of like, So, definitely a positive.
Yeah,
now, I did enjoy a lot. This brought back some of that Seth Rogen humor and some of the, you know, cool theatrics and some cool angles with cameras and different things. I really did enjoy some of that they really brought some of that back.
Yeah, I agree. There was better humor, better dialogue, better story. Everything was better in this episode. But there's still some dragging points where I'm still kind of just like, well,
I'll tell you right now, Tulip is a downer for me right now. I mean, like, it's just...
Yeah.
She's tough to watch right now.
She is... It didn't seem like that big of a moment, her almost death. But she's had several almost deaths, and it's like, she is really dwelling on this. And maybe that's insensitive to the character, but it's boring me at this point, honestly.
It really, really is. And this was the first time we actually had something that went in a positive direction towards where the overall plot line is actually going. In the past 2 or 3 episodes, it's been like stalemate, dead end, stalemate, no success. This one finally gets a little bit of a nugget in the right direction. Not much, but we do get a little bit like we're actually getting a plot line, a connection to where we're supposed to be going.
Agreed.
And so it starts off with the men in white setting up Star's office, putting all these newspapers from different countries and different things on his desk. You know, just kind of giving you a little background that he's in charge and what goes on day to day. And then it cuts away to, we get this flashback of Jesse and his dad's execution.
Right, which we've seen this a few times.
We have, you know, and why are they showing it to us again? Is this just something he daydreams about?
Once again, no idea. But they flashed once again on the tattoo on this guy's arm.
Yes.
So are we going...
Well, I can tell you the comic book of what this is.
No, don't tell me.
You know, I mean, but this, put it this way, what they're showing you has a very significant future of the show, if they stay in line with it. It's very, very significant.
All right, well, once again, I don't think this is an episode where we have to go scene by scene necessarily, because you can kind of break this down into a couple major points, right?
Pretty much. I mean, Jesse's still searching for God. We're looking at YouTube videos. He's struggling that they're hitting brick walls.
Yeah, we get a lot of Cassidy trying to explain to him that Tulip is the problem. Tulip is the problem. Stop focusing on anything else. We need to focus on Tulip. Right. You know what I mean? We get a scene of him putting her to sleep. You know, after she comes in, talk about, I took 344 mags.
Yeah, to the chest. And takes a frozen blood and puts it on the chest. Dude, him chopping that blood in the pan, I was revolting.
My wife would murder me if she saw me do that to one of her pans. But
Murder, death, kill. That's right.
Yeah. I was just cringing at that. I was like, oh my God, use some plastic, sir. You're ruining that cookware.
You seen this kitchen?
Yeah, you're right. This oven alone looks like a fucking bomb waiting to blow. But yeah, you know, I'm going to just zoom past the Tulip shit. I'm just going to get it over with.
Yeah. Sleep, move on.
Sleep
thing. Guess what? That's all you have to worry about with Tulip.
Well, he used the word on her.
He did.
Which we knew was, it upset Cassidy. We knew it was going to upset her. He kind of brings her back by saying, you need a fight. Like, to snap you out of this. You know what I mean?
I love that he used the line of, I didn't know what else to do for you. I'm doing it for you. You know, like showing some endearment, showing some love, doing some things like that.
But still, we already know how she feels about using the word. So it's like, there was no way you were going to just ease out of this. You know
right, right.
Even though it was the best thing for her. Because you could die. You go without sleep, you'll die.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to do something, and you're taking bullets to the chest like an animal. So it's like, fine. And then, obviously...
She uses the word, and then this is where the suit and white... Is it Featherstone?
Man,
yeah, her name.
No idea.
Yeah, like, whatever. So she...
Lounge singer lady.
Yeah, shows the video to Star. And his comments, man, I was dying. My ribs were hurting, man. He's like...
The other thing that my wife would be pissed about.
Yeah.
Oh, a woman followed a man's commands. This is not a superpower.
I'm bored. I'm going to a date.
Yeah. I love this. This guy, Ed or Star, is fantastic.
Dude, to me, he's kind of stealing the show right now. Cassidy was your relief, and like you were pissed if he didn't have his dynamic in the show. This guy coming into the fold is almost like casting shadow on him.
We got a little taste of what we love about Cassidy this episode.
A small taste.
Small taste.
Small.
But it reminded you, it's like, oh yeah, this is why we love him so much.
Yes.
But this Airstar guy is perfectly cast, and this dude must be having so much fun doing this.
He's got to be, man. Could you imagine when the camera's not on, how much they've got to be throwing shit around like you've never seen?
He has to laugh uncontrollably between takes. Because he keeps the straightest face, like he is Asperger's. I mean, yeah. I don't know how you do it. Like, it just...
Yeah.
I mean, his date scene...
Oh, yeah. Take your shirt off. You know, place the butter under your chin. Don't hold the tray, hold the butter. You know?
No, take the butter in your hand. Now, how long would you say you can hold your breath? Where is this going? And then he gets a little bump, a little note. He's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. But yeah, this beautiful young woman, we found out it's the mayor's or the governor of Louisiana's daughter. Which one's
Did she
higher?
say governor or did he say, I thought he said, I'm like Gardner.
No,
or something.
Governor. Yeah, of the state.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the most powerful man in the world. I have 118 different countries and organizations doing my bidding.
Well, he says I run the most powerful
organization
in the world.
Right. He goes, has your father been to Angola? And she's like, the country or the prison?
The prison?
Okay, now I lived in Louisiana, and Angola is hell on earth. Angola is the state penitentiary for Louisiana, and it is in the middle of a swamp. It doesn't even have fences around it.
It sounds humid.
Okay, like, people don't escape because you don't live if you go through the swamp and try to escape.
Yeah, either the mosquitoes will carry you away or the alligators will finish you.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be shoved under a log to be tenderized for later.
I mean, there's one street that goes all the way in and it's miles long. I mean, it's hell on earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolute hell. So I thought it was a cool catch that, if you don't know you're from Louisiana, people have no idea what Angola is. So I was kind of surprised. I mean,
I bet people were Googling Angola.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, she says the prison. It's the worst of the worst.
Yeah, deep pull. Yeah,
but he's like, never mind, and he's gone. And this is where he said, when we kind of glossed over, he said, I'm bored, I'm going on a date, kill them all.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we bring in the Special Forces unit in the all white on white on white. Hey, bro, I love you, bro. Awkward.
These guys are weird.
I mean, they are, dude.
The one with lounge singer lady and the other black guy with the gap in his teeth. This dude's super weird.
Yeah, I mean,
they all say I love you.
Yes, and it's like endearing, like seriously, like I plan on bouncing you later. You know?
I love you. I'll marry you today.
Yes.
But yeah, these guys, they get the fist bump. I love you. I love that they put the earphones on because we get a silent.
Here's as much as I love that for what it produces in the scene. How in the hell do they know to put that on? Because of the power. I know that, but Star doesn't agree that believe that's real.
Doesn't matter. I think they still take he left it up to them, kill them all.
So you think that was her?
So those two were in charge of starting the crew to kill.
All right. Now, when they first put these earmuffs on, I was like, some things ain't going to work. And then they did these little suction cups.
Yeah, they sealed on their heads.
I was like, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So like you said, my favorite part was the camera angle where your point of view, like you're watching Call of Duty and you're seeing the gun.
Realistic bullet holes.
Yes.
This is a rarity, especially in this show where we have the
enormous total recall explosions for each bullet,
But when they shoot Cassidy in the back and when they shoot Dennis in the bed, that's what it looks like.
Right.
Just red dots showing up.
Yeah, well, there was silenced assault rifles. I mean, they're 2.23 rounds. It's just almost a hair bigger than a 22. Yeah. You're not going to have a massive explosion or tissue fly.
But I love it because they're shooting, and it's not like you see like a spread of browns. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's quick. They're just moving through the house. But I love it when they come in, and it's like, there's Custer, and then from the ceiling, you see Cassidy come down on him, and they would snip out of the silence every once in a while, and all you hear is him going, ah! He bit me.
I was dying, man.
And he's going to town, and they're just shooting the shit out of him.
They're pumping him a leg.
He goes down, and he's just fighting and taking all of them. Even when the guy, he shoots Dennis, you see him look around the corner, and they're still just fighting with Cassidy.
Stabbing him to death and everything else.
And then, he comes around the corner, and of course, I found the girl, and it just gets his ass beat.
Custer's putting it to him, boy.
Yeah. So I love this. This is one of those, they planned it out, and they did a really nice job.
This is the closest thing this season we've had to the motel scene of season 1.
Not even remotely close to as good, though.
I said closest thing to it. I didn't say it was as good.
No, because I'll take the sheriffs on the street over this. Yeah. Even the gun convention at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
But this was more creative.
It was.
I'll say that.
I mean, like you said, the silent thing.
The silence, it was perfect. And it was like Aliens, or you keep seeing the names of the different people coming up, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was just waiting for, just one of our favorite Aliens characters, Hickman, whoever, Hudson.
Hicks and Hudson.
Hicks, Hudson, Vasquez.
Yeah, we see one of them. Come in, Hicks. Come in.
Can that shit, Vasquez? I was just waiting for it. And it was perfect, But yeah, Custer starts beating the ever-living shit out of this guy. You realize it's the black guy that fist bumped "I love you" to his buddy.
Guy. And his name up there was like Kapalova or
like Capulo. Or
it was something
like
unique.
But he gets his earmuffs off of him. He's like, "Kill your friends."
He's like, "Shit."
And he walks. And this is the first time though you see a guy emotionally fighting it though.
Right.
I
think that's the reason we said "I love you, bro." And like you see him physically, like I'm trying to prevent it, but I can't.
Even when he tells him, he stalls for a minute. Yeah. He's like, really? You know what I mean? He gets up, he pulls the pistol, and he points at him and says, "I'm sorry." And he shoots the first one in the head and the second one in the head, and his friend takes his helmet off. He's like, "Hey man, it's me. Please don't, And he's like, "I love you," or whatever, like he says, and greases him, and it's just like, wow. And then we finally learn
the outcome of Dennis.
Who's a raging savage now.
Yeah. I mean, okay, were you happy about this or pissed about this?
I didn't know what I was going to expect, but I'm actually happy now that I know that he turned him, because I know it's going to come back and bite Cassidy in the ass. And it already is biting him in the ass. So I honestly think by the end of the season, he's going to kill Dennis. He's going to kill his own son.
Right.
Just for being a maniac.
Well, not to give anything away, in the comic book, like Cassidy doesn't take well to other of his kind, and even kills one or two in the comic book. Well, which there is no son, there's no Dennis, there's none of that stuff in the comic books. There's no way to say that's any part of it, but he does meet a vampire, the only one other one we've ever find out about in the comic book so far in this time of the era, and he disagrees and pins him to a roof, and when the sun comes up, it's melts him and turns into bones and explodes and all that good stuff.
I look at it though, Cassidy laid the first glimpses into his vampire philosophy.
Correct.
Blood packs if you can get them, obviously. You only drink blood to heal yourself. That's it. Like, he doesn't drink it otherwise. So when he's hurt, he drinks it. Just like we saw him with the cat when he was hurt real bad, and he picks the cat up and drinks it. You know what I mean? It's like...
Drinks it.
He doesn't want to kill people. He's not a violent
He's
man.
been able to control his urge.
You remember even the guys on the airplane in the opening episode when we get introduced to him? He doesn't bite any of them.
No.
You know what I mean? He kills all of them, but he doesn't bite them. So it's just like he has a moral code to being a vampire.
Are you surprised that he wasn't more effective as a fighter with these guys? Because like when you see him on the airplane in the very first season, the very first episode, he's pretty freaking talented when it comes to, hand to hand, all that kind of stuff like that.
But hand to hand, these guys all had guns and they shot him immediately. You know what I'm saying? We at least know he feels pain and he's brave as hell because he knows he's immortal. But I don't know. I just look at it like, I agree with you. And I think if it was a hand to hand thing, but I like the fact that they're not using vampire tropes. He's not like Flash where he can fly across the room.
Oh, yeah. Or he's lifting him up single-handedly and throwing him against the ceiling.
Yeah.
And he's super strong and all that
just, even Interview with the Vampire was one of the most, realistic vampire movies.
Even though it did have some sci-fi ability.
But even though, so I'm saying, they had a guy who could almost teleport.
Right.
And then Brad Pitt at the end almost, you realize can basically flash across the room, turn the light on, and flash back, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where your eye can't even see it. So it's like, do you think Underworld and stuff, they can do that type of shit? It's like, I'm glad that they're not doing that with Cassidy.
Here's my one problem, though. If you remember from season 1, Cassidy fell out of that airplane, okay, and he landed. And there was a cow, and that cow got snatched up like it was Hulk grabbing it and bringing it down.
I agree with you.
And he's wounded and just like that, but you can't snatch a guy using that kind of power and ability. We're talking about a 600-pound animal.
No, if you could snatch a guy like that, he wouldn't even have to snatch a man. He could tear the head off a human being.
Exactly.
Very simply.
But they're holding him down and stabbing him and shooting him.
Yeah, but we've not... Other than the guys that were on the airplane, he's not a ruthless killer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get that. I'm just saying, his strength ability doesn't match.
I agree. But we didn't see it on the airplane either.
No, we didn't. It wasn't until we saw the cow, what he did to the cow, which was...
We remember quite well that he shoves a broken bottle into a guy as a funnel for a wine glass to drink blood.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Classic.
Very great stuff. But I'm just saying, I agree with you. Cassidy is way more powerful than they're showing.
Mm-hmm.
At least, you know what? Maybe they made a mistake by showing the cow scene. Because he clearly snatches a cow off its feet.
A 600-pound animal and just dominates it like it's
right.
like you're watching Marvel Avengers and Hulk picking something up.
Yeah. So I think that might have been an error.
I think it is. I think it set it too far. His ability, especially when he's in pieces on the ground.
Yeah.
So like I said, Tulip wakes up, sees the carnage. That's when Jesse kind of has the thing, and then all of a sudden she sees all these police officers and crime scene investigators like that. And evidently, like you said, he's used the word "you all work for me now."
Yeah, I like this.
I do too. I really did. And this is where I was kind of like, all right. And he's like, I know they're coming back. This is going to be different. Blah blah blah, and so on. And I agree with all of that. I thought it was really really neat that they did all him commanding people, using the radio, doing these things.
No, I thought all this was smart.
It was.
I don't like Tulip going to the next door neighbor and borrowing a gun. It's just so unrealistic.
It's
I can't get past
cheeseball.
that.
It's so cheeseball. And then and then Cassidy's like, I guess we see Dennis made it, and he goes, yeah, we didn't need you or your God, or
well, it didn't need your help after all.
And so I mean, it's kind of cold, but like you said, he gets her into the fight. She goes, I'm gonna go get a gun, and she goes over there and sees her and like, hey, I just need to borrow your gun. I'm like, and the whole deal of being able to change your outfit and hair and everything instantaneously, I don't know.
Now, this whole scenario is getting goofy to me.
It is.
And do we think there's any real affection between this chick and Tulip?
No. Not yet.
Later on in the episode, we see what this chick's really like.
Oh, yeah. Stone cold.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I agree with you. I like the cop stuff. This is how I like the word being used. You know what I mean? Like this. Makes total sense to me. You know, having the snipers in the windows, all this stuff is super cool. You know, full perimeter, cool.
Now, before this, you know, Featherstone, I think is her name, like that, and the black guy was a Gap. He loaded a tarp out in Star's office.
Yeah.
And he's we absolutely failed, sir. We appreciate all our art, and we look forward to da-da-da-da-da. I'm willing to take it. You know, whose fault is this? Mine, his. You know. I mean,
yeah. Oh, he goes, who gets it first? And he goes, I will. She goes, he does. I was like, this bitch is cold as ice.
I mean, the tarp. Like, so he pulls the gun out and click, 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 and I'm like. And then she's like, they're notorious for jamming, and she's doing all this. I'm like, I didn't get this.
Well, was it just luck? Lucky that the thing jammed and she had the time to show how like impressive she is.
Yeah, she was coddling his balls, but with her conversation, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and he's like, I have a rape fantasy. And she's like, oh, I'll put some makeup on and a dress. And so it's not you.
Oh, do you like professionals?
Professionals. Oh, okay.
Girls that, yes means no, no means yes.
The no means yes brand. And he's like, yes, exactly. That lays a seed. Well, actually, the date he had with the chick where she's talking about the little... crackhead child smile.
Oh, yeah.
Missing puzzle piece.
He's like,
they
mean
smile
something,
all the
they
time.
all smile. Some didwit half-breed.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the groundwork, which leads to the later groundwork. But, yeah, it's so funny, though. She's like, I'll take care of Brad. Yes, she says,
I think we should initiate Brad.
And then Hawkins, I think was his name or something like that, will handle the professional hookers for you. And so he's looking through an escort book, later on.
It's a tourist magazine.
Yeah. and and she's contacting the Brad and so like that. And you think that's going to be some...
I'm thinking some supernatural guy,
Or just a super badass hitman, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, well, Brad takes a while to get, put in place and blah blah blah. Of course, later on we realize it's a drone. But which I was actually kind of disappointed. I was hoping to see a.
I'll be honest with you.
When
you saw the cop sitting there and that enormous fella coming up behind him, I was kind of like, are we about to have like something?
The Juggernaut?
Yeah,
right
like something really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then you think there's any symbolism? We got a Barack Obama mask on.
I don't know what they were doing with this, but
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the joke was.
But it was pretty terrifying when he first looks down the window. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, really. He soiled his armor in there,
But this dude was enormous.
He was.
When they lay him on the back of the trunk and you see
the
how
car falls
big
down.
he is.
Yeah.
It's like, good God, he's a monster.
Yes.
He looks like in the rear window, he looks just like a flabby, kind of overweight, sloppy dude, which he is, but he's also enormous.
Yes. He carries his weight well. How dare you?
Yeah, he carried it right on top of that one cop. I felt terrible for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we find out Brad's a drone. Air, what's his name now? Air, God, why can't I remember his name? Star, yeah. So anyway, we get him in Air Stars in his office, and he's decided to finally look at Custer's file. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of running through some things. We see like his birth certificate. We see...
Key part of this, and I think if you're a comic book reader, it makes sense. The first thing you see is the antebellum home, and that is a big clue. So if you're a comic book reader, you know exactly what this means. If you're not, I'm not going to divulge. I don't want to be spoilery. That antebellum home is a big deal, and that's the reason. That's the first thing you see. So anytime you see that, be paying attention.
Okay, yeah, because I honestly I thought it was his church, Because I on kind of glance of it, I was like, okay, whatever. I figured it was probably just the church, that is him and his dad owned. But, he's going through the file, and you keep waiting to see some... Because that house, or whatever you're talking about, was one of the first things.
It's the first picture you see.
And you're just flipping through, and you're like waiting to see something.
Yeah, all it is a bunch of news articles about the Custer being executed and a church without its flock. And
a preacher who disappears after saying he was going to call God.
Right.
So, I mean, that stuff right there, we already know. I was waiting for that little...
You were hoping there was a little nugget in there.
Yeah,
a nugget in there. And it didn't give it to you. It's not like Game of Thrones that says, Rhaegar was annulled his marriage out of nowhere.
Yeah, but... And then, of course, we get the...
Dude, when the three dudes show up...
I did not think these were prostitutes when they showed up. But yeah, they...
Now we're skipping to the end. Okay,
was this the end scene?
That was the very end of the scene.
I thought we had more.
When you get it now, we see what Brad is, and they talk about how skilled Brad is and stuff, and then like you said, there's all that, and we get the picture of it, and it's shooting and stuff, and then we get the phone call, and then the guys come in like you're talking about. We glossed over a little bit of that because remember he sent the cops away, he did all the little things, which all that doesn't really matter a whole lot. But then we get to the part with the rape scene where the three guys come in and they're like, because the whole part of it, you take credit card, charge card, and all that stuff, all that. There's a little pop humor.
Tulip shoots the cleaner
right
later on the next night, and all that stuff. But that ended up leading to nothing.
It did. It was just filler.
Yeah.
The guy kept looking creepy and staring at him, and you were just meant to believe this is your assassin, or the fat guy was the assassin, or all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
But anyway, like you said, evidently the charge card worked, and three guys show up at Star's office.
But I love this. He's like, misunderstanding. I'll definitely pay you for your charge.
I'll compensate you for your time.
But this is not what I want. And they're like, he said it. No means yes. And they just grab... He's like, no, really? Just bend him over his desk.
Don't even take his coat off.
Two guys hold him down while one man just ass rapes him. And this is great because he's just sitting there just
getting thumped.
No emotion, just getting tore up. But he's looking at Jesse's name on the file, and it's just rocking back and forth and stuff like that, and he busts out the missing puzzle piece.
Well, right before the scene happens, he's watching the footage of Jesse complain to Cassidy about, I'm looking for God. You have to have God, this structure.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody in charge, otherwise it's chaos. And evidently that's a big deal because he stares and he focuses at it and the whole 9 yards. And then we get the whole shit of, do you like kitties? Yes or no constantly.
Twice that drops in there.
What the shit is this about?
It's just a classic shit you deal with computers, viruses. That's what this is.
We're the most powerful organization in the world, and we got computer viruses. Yeah, they do like kitties.
I never thought about it, that if you move the letters around in Jesse Custer, it's Jesus Christ. I never thought about it until this episode. When he's looking at the file, and it's shaking, and it's just showing his name. And I just got to thinking about it, and I was like, oh, you mix it up. It's Jesus Christ on there. So it's like, kind of duh for me. I bet everyone has known that from season 1 on. I mean, known it from the beginning. I had no clue. None whatsoever. I never even thought about it. And then just this one just slapped me right in the face. So I'm assuming he thinks like second coming type business now. You know what I mean? But we don't know for sure yet.
Jesus Christ. Is Custard have an H?
No. Custer. You got Jesse.
Yeah.
So you got the Jes, the Custer, the U, pull it over, the other S. And, oh, you're right. Right there. Where's the H?
I was like, where the fuck is the H?
Is it just...
It's just Jesus is in there.
You're right. Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, something. I don't know.
I mean,
JC.
You had a good little thing there. I was like, oh shit, that's good stuff. And I was like,
where's the I? I'm retarded.
Have another bro.
I think I was just thinking JC is all it was.
Right. But maybe that's all it was. Jesse Custard, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you were talking about.
I think that's where I was going, was JC or whatever like that. But
I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I saw he goes, the missing piece, I didn't have a fucking clue what he's talking about. I mean, like, I looked at it, I was like, what in the Sam Hill is he talking about?
Yeah, and the thing is he talking about the missing puzzle piece for him?
Yeah. I don't know.
And then we get the bar scene, right?
No, he calls, and he goes...
Well, he says call off the missile.
Call off the missile, and he does, and then the girl goes, where'd you send the missile? Harry Connick Jr.'s house.
A beloved Louisiana native. And of course, we hear it on the news while he's in the bar, just like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I mean, they're just killing celebrities right and left.
Singer, actor, talk show,
celebrity,
game show host, or whatever like that. Sadly dead at 49 or whatever it was. Blown up in his own home. Then he comes and sits next to Jesse at the bar. I'll have what he's having. Drinks the whole thing down.
Doesn't even shiver. Yeah. You know? Where I'd be over going, death on me.
Ambulance, medic. So yeah, I don't know. Then he turns to him, obviously, and starts talking to him.
He's like, I came alone. So I hear you're looking for Jesus, you know.
I hear you're looking for God.
Yeah. And so on, and which perks the interest.
Cut to black.
So, now, now, we did talk about, we missed the one scene where you have Cassidy's like, I have only a quarter of my intestines and I don't have a liver. You going to be ready tonight?
Half an intestine and no liver.
I keep drinking this, I'll be fine by tonight.
He says, I won't be 100%, but I'll be ready.
And then, Dennis is like, slugging this stuff down like it's candy water.
They're cheersing it with a...
He's got a pot and pan and skillet.
He gets his first burn in the sun. He's like, sun's dangerous.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful.
Like he's 5.
Yeah, and he gives him that pot, and he's just drinking it, guzzling it down. And he's like, "Good God, take it easy,
take it easy."
So this is clearly going to be a problem. Dennis playing his record player up so loud.
Dude, that shit was ridiculous.
That's one of the scenes I didn't care for. Because it's like now. Cassie does have to play like the father dealing with a teenager.
Right. It's like he went dumb. Like he regressed in age.
Yeah. So I don't, whether that stuff plays out, I'm not sure.
I don't know. If anything, Dennis is being created just shifts Cassidy's focus away from the group and the mission and everything else, which I think is going to hurt the overall plot line.
Well, to be honest, I mean, this season has been dragging quite a bit. So it's like, the show's going to have to pick it up in some form or fashion. Either it'll get canceled and won't work, or we'll cancel because it's just not floating our boat forever.
Well, I put it out there that, an episode or two ago, I said it wasn't exactly what we wanted, and I'm hoping things can improve better, and I got flagged. Like, people are like, it's a great storytelling, you got to develop characters, And I understand that. People have their opinions, and I respect that 100%. But the key thing I said is not what we wanted. You know what I mean? And so I want to clarify that by saying that, we potted this because we want this humor, this excitement, the crazy visuals, off-the-wall dynamics, something different that you've ever seen on TV. And to us, Season 1 gave us that. It was completely unique. Something like that. And Season 2 has gone to... if you want to call it storytelling like that, to me, it's like dragging plot line out, unsuccessful plot line, or it's just not going really much where. We're lacking some of the dynamic scenes and episodes that were so famous from Season 1.
What grabbed us is missing.
Correct.
We're never going to pod a show because it's popular.
No.
It's going to be something that we find entertaining and want to follow because... the podcasting part is just our way of water coolering the shows we love.
Well, yeah.
We
wouldn't talk about it if we didn't like it. If we didn't like it, why pod it?
Exactly. So, as many feathers as that may ruffle, or whatever the case may be, if a show starts to drag on us, Fear of the Walking Dead, we will kick it to the curb without a second glance.
Yeah, I mean, we've podded Walking Dead for years. And we started Fear of the Walking Dead and quit midstream.
Yeah.
We were like, this show's just going nowhere. It dragged, It wasn't worth talking about anymore. We're not the type of podcast to sit there and bash something constantly. That's all we were doing with Fear.
Well, that's the thing. We just did nothing but bashing Fear of the Walking Dead. And we bashed Preacher the last few episodes as well. Because they were just boring. And non-developmental. So if it keeps giving us episodes like that, then we don't want to be a podcast that bashes, and we're not entertained anymore. Now, just because I know you're like me and are kind of completionist type people, we would finish the show.
Yes, this one's worth finishing. There's no doubt. I mean, I really enjoy the show. This episode proved that there's a reason we chose this show.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope it continues.
There's no doubt. And I think it will. Now that we have Star in the mix, I really feel like if we keep him as a primary in the characters of the show and stuff like that, it's really going to be heightened and it's going to get really exciting. And the preview for next week kind of really gives you a direction they're going. Now, again, it does show Dennis and Cassidy, and I'm just like, okay, that's going to get old quick. Him playing daddy, you can't, act on your instincts.
No, I'll be surprised if Dennis survives the season.
Right, I agree. But I am surprised that they're already talking about having a meeting and the boy and who's the boy and all this stuff in this preview. Again, as a comic book reader, I know exactly what the hell they're talking about. And I'm in shock we're already at this point in comics. So it's very interesting to see that. But I'm also excited because this is major movement forward for the show. So I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. And like I said, I want the show to be good. I want it to continue to be good. I like when a show we enjoy gets picked up for another season, mid-season because it's getting the ratings so well.
Absolutely.
But we've followed plenty of shows that just get the can, you know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
And nothing we can do about it. And most of the time they get the can, they got it for a good reason.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Guys, we say these things because we respect opinions, and you'll be surprised. Anybody who sends us opinions, even if it's different like that, we converse. We tell them, hey, I got you, feel you, this, that, so on. Everybody has their own thoughts, their opinions, and so on. And I hope y'all enjoy ours. And if you feel strongly about something or tell us we missed something or we need to be looking at closer at something for us to see what you see, please do not hesitate to let us know. We enjoy that. What makes this, what our paycheck is being able to talk to you guys and enter that in the show and add that, that diversity and everything else to be a part of it. You can always catch us at BleedTV Podcast on gmail.com, as well as we're on Facebook, BleedTV Podcast, as Twitter, BleedTV Podcast. So don't hesitate to follow, befriend, whatever. We'd love to have you and listen to us weekly. Tell your friends, share it out there, guys. We absolutely love it when people share our pod and, recommend it, whatever, tell us like that. Don't hesitate. But other than that, guys, I think we're going to call it a night. This is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And we'll see y'all next week.